Actually, Daniel, if I could follow up with some of the comments that Representative Stevens made, and that's concerning the cap and trade scenario where Congress has now decided that they're going to go down that road. I was struck, nearly 10 years ago, I was listening to BBC News and was struck by how every story at that point in time had something to do with global warming. Regardless of what the subject was, they always folded it back to that subject. And I knew that we weren't getting that deluge of information in this country, but I could see the writing on the wall, and sure enough, here we are, and Congress is passing cap and trade today. My question is this: Europe has gone further down the road of trying to follow this, what I would consider to be a fable that carbon dioxide is the big pollutant that will destroy the world, and with this incredible economic scenario that simply destroys economies. Is Europe starting to get it or not? We're not.
Well, you won't be surprised to hear neither are we. Well, I don't know, actually. You know, it was pretty chilly when I left on Thursday, so it may be that the resolution we passed against global warming has already taken effect. In which case life is very easy, isn't it? You just have to declare where you stand on these things, and you can literally make the weather as a politician. And isn't that a nice, powerful position in which to find yourself? Look, I'm not an expert on this. I envy the certainty that I find on both sides of this debate. You know, there are people who say, oh no, it's plainly not happening and the world is getting cooler and so on. Maybe, I don't know. And then there are people who say it's obvious, even if it is getting warmer, it's not anthropogenic. I don't know. The one thing I do know is this. Helsinki has average annual temperatures of 5 degrees in the day. Athens of 21 degrees, Rio de Janeiro of 37 degrees, and they are all capable of supporting quite large human populations. So my guess is that it doesn't really matter who's right and wrong about the global warming. I think we could probably adapt. And we could probably adapt for a fraction of what it is being proposed to spend on trying to avert the whole thing. Very good. But I just, if I may, I'm going to add one thing. I don't think environmentalism should be left completely to the left. I think there are issues which are natural conservative issues for us on the environment, and we should not be shy of using free market mechanisms to try to deliver cleaner air and cleaner water. And one of the ways of doing that is property rights. If people own the rights to the air and the water, it will be a lot cleaner. It's the tragedy of the commons. As Aristotle said, that which nobody owns, nobody will care for. And you and we are really lucky as countries because we have, under the common law system, we have very good mechanisms to enforce property rights. There was a case in England as long ago as the 17th century where somebody took his neighbour to court because his neighbour had a pig farm, the smell of which was deleterious to his quality of life. It's what we would now call pollution. There were particles in the air that were causing this guy not to have free enjoyment of his property, and the courts upheld it. You know, and that, it seems to me, is the great way of cleaning up the environment. You trust to ownership. If somebody is responsible for a big stretch of rainforest, it isn't going to get chopped down. You know, whereas if nobody owns it, there is a scrabble. So let's not fall for this left-wing idea that you need to have more bureaucracies, less national sovereignty, and more international technocracies in order to get anything done. The opposite is true. Greens always say, think global, act local, where they're very good at the first bit. You know, they love setting up their Kyoto agendas and all the rest of it. But the second bit, acting locally, that should be left to the people who really understand it, which is us.
Now, I just dare any of you Colorado legislators to quote Aristotle, we will throw you out of office fast. I see that our friend Independence Institute President John Caldera has been paroled from Michael Jackson hell. John, come on up. In case you need it. And let's get the all of you folks into the discussion a little bit here with the time remaining to us, and I will turn the MC duties over to you, Mr. Caldera.
I can't tell you how thrilled I was to be on Michael Jackson duty. We have seen dark days in this nation, but nothing quite like this. Why aren't we grieving for what the Congress did today instead of... Never mind. I tell you what, before we open up, I like to hold politicians to simple one-word answers. So if you don't mind, we all have some very specific questions that we want to get across, and I think it's the same question. So let's do this as quick as possible. Just one-word answers. Best James Bond.
Sean Connery, but it's 2 words.
Beatles or Stones?
Oh, Rolling Stones. Yeah, 2 words again.
Football or soccer?
Rugby.
Irish or Scotch whiskey?
Scotch.
Doctor Who or Star Trek?
It's got to be the new Doctor Who.
Does he get a passing grade?
Yeah.